15-Minute Mondays, your kickstart to week high energy 15-minute episode on the Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Daniel Greg Johnson. Let's get right into it. Hello tribe, welcome back on the Success Blueprint. It is 15-Minute Monday time, that time of the week where I give you a bit of energy for the week, and I won't hold you up for too long. Let's go at it quickly because we want to get this out of the way. As I say, you should be able to listen to this on the treadmill or on the way to work. So let's get right into it. Today, I want to talk to you about alone or finally free. The hidden power of solitude and inner peace. And that's an important one because very often people have a misconception that being by yourself necessarily stands for lonely or that it stands for lonely. And that's not true. Being alone isn't the same as being lonely. There's a big difference. And being surrounded doesn't mean you're at peace. So welcome to this episode of the 15-Minute Monday, your weekly recalibration for soul-aligned living. And in today's episode, it's for anyone who's wrestled with silence, solitude, or stillness, and confused absence with abandonment. So let's talk about that. We're unpacking today the powerful difference between being alone and being at peace, and why learning to stand on your own or in your own presence might be the most liberating thing you'll ever do. So by the end of this episode, what am I going to give you? You understand why solitude is not a punishment, but a portal, and how to access the deep calm that lives beneath the noise of needing others to complete you. Let's get right into it. I hope that you are strapped in. What's the problem here? What is the challenge that we face? We live in a world that demonizes being alone. Single, you must be lonely. Eating alone must be sad. Not posting on social media must be struggling. But here's the truth that I want to share with you, tribe. No one says it out loud, but that's fact. Aloneness and loneliness are not the same thing. And too many people fear silence because they never made peace with themselves. They can't sit with themselves. They always need someone around. They need a phone, something to distract them. And you can be surrounded by friends, followers, lovers, and still feel completely disconnected. You can be in a crowd and still feel hollow. You can be married and still feel emotionally starved. How many times has it happened to you in the past that you've been next to someone, with someone, and yet you felt alone? Because it just didn't give you what your soul needed. It didn't nourish you, didn't add value to your life. That happens to all of us. Happened to me, most probably happened to you as well. The real question isn't, am I alone? The question that I want to pose to you is, am I at peace with myself when no one else is watching? When I'm not putting on an act, when I'm not playing the role that I think I need to play for the world. And let me share with you the cost and consequence of behaving that way and what challenges come with it. When you don't know the difference between being alone and being at peace, you'll stay in relationships that exhaust you just to avoid silence. You'll chase validation because your inner voice feels too quiet to trust. You'll confuse busyness with meaning and noise with connection. And they're not the same. And the worst of all, you run from yourself. You start hiding from yourself, your true authentic self. You numb the discomfort with scrolling, binging, pleasing, and performing, and you put up an act. And that's not the goal, tribe. You will mistake chaos for connection and approval for intimacy. They are not the same. You'll shrink your identity into roles, likes, and surface level bonds, just so you don't have to face the stillness. But peace doesn't live in noise. It lives inside of you. It's always there. You just have to find it and be happy with it. And until you can sit alone and feel whole, you'll always feel empty, even in the arms of someone else. And that I can guarantee you. There's no two ways about it. That's the way it works. So let me give you a 5-step process to shift from fearing being alone to cultivating inner peace, so solid silence becomes a sanctuary. And you can go back to it because it fuels you and it helps you to overcome challenges. Find yourself, reconnect to yourself. Number 1, define the distinction for yourself. Start with clarity. I want you to ask yourself, when I'm alone, what do I feel? Is it spaciousness or scarcity? Is it relief or restlessness? Understanding your relationship with solitude is the key. If you don't understand the relationship, how are you going to interpret it? How are you going to know how this stirs towards something positive or away from something negative? What action can you take for that? Journal for 10 minutes using the following prompt. When I'm alone, I usually feel. Don't filter it, just observe. Look inside yourself and see how your body responds. And this reveals whether your alone time is nourishing for you or if it's activating old wounds of abandonment. If you don't know what the challenge is, how are you going to address it? So start with this. Step number 2, explore the wound behind the noise. Many people fear being alone because somewhere along the way they equated aloneness with rejection. And you learned that somewhere. Maybe a parent was absent. Maybe you left out, ignored, ghosted, betrayed somewhere in your past, and that's how you created that connection. So it's important that you understand that so you can address it and deal with it. But the wound isn't the silence. That's what I want to tell you. It's not the silence that hurts. It's what happened in it. That's what truly matters. So take the following action. Ask yourself, who made me feel unwanted when I was alone? What belief did I create about my worth because of that? That's the question. This isn't about blame. It's about reclaiming, because your peace was never supposed to be borrowed from anyone else. Okay, so do that. That's step number 2. Step number 3, reframe solitude as sanctuary. I always talk about reframing with my clients. Solitude is not a lack. It's luxury. Trust me. It's the rare and radical space where you meet yourself without masks, where you can be true to yourself, where you can connect to your true authentic self and to your core values and beliefs. It's important to understand that. I want you to start shifting the narrative from I'm alone to I'm available to myself right now. I want you to take the following action. Create one sacred moment this week to be with yourself on purpose. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you. Take yourself on a solo date, a walk, a coffee, a sunset drive, or meditation somewhere in the forest, on a field, wherever you want to do it. It doesn't matter, but be by yourself. And then I want you to ask yourself the following question. How am I really? Then I want you to listen. That's the beginning of peace. That's where the magic happens. Trust me. Number 4, build a ritual of inner grounding. Peace isn't an event. It's a practice. It's the act of returning to yourself again and again, especially when the world is loud and there's too much noise. And the action that you can take for that, choose one daily 5-minute ritual. Just one. Breath work, journaling, grounding meditation. Anything that works for you. A check-in mantra. I'm here, I'm safe, I'm whole. And then experience it. Recognize how you breathe, how you're calming down, how things become quieter around you. That's where you find the magic happens. Let this be the anchor that reminds you you're not alone, you are with yourself, with you. And there's a huge difference. Step number 5, detach from noise as worth. There is no worth to noise. Never. It's just distraction. You are not your relationships. You are not your schedule. You are not your notifications. You are you. And that's enough. It always has been enough. You just have to reconnect to yourself and understand that. And an action that you can take for that is take a 24-hour noise detox. No social media, no performing, no texting for attention. Instead, I want you to reconnect with your own voice, your own breath, and your own energy. And sit with it, enjoy it, embrace it. Because when your soul is your best company, everything else becomes a choice, not a crutch. There is really so much freedom and liberation in that. And what's the deeper meaning? Why does that really matter? Let's reflect for a second on that. The truth is simple, but profound. You don't need to be surrounded to be supported. You don't need to be validated to be valuable. And you don't need to be constantly connected to feel complete. Peace isn't something you find. It's something you remember. And it lives on the other side of noise, people pleasing, and the performance of being fine. That's what I tell my clients. It's not about finding happiness. It's not a little treasure trove that you find in a forest. What really matters is that you understand, when am I moving away from balance or happiness for that matter? When am I moving closer? And what steps can I take to make a difference there? How can I move closer towards happiness? How can I move closer towards my balance? That is the secret key. But many people make it out like something that you have to chase. You have to win a race for it. You have to make money for it. You have to get to some certain destination to be happy and feel balanced. And that's not how it works, tribe. When you stop running from being alone, you finally arrive. Where? Home. At you. At your own solitude. At your authenticity. If you think of Oprah Winfrey, who's publicly shared how her greatest growth didn't come from crowds or cameras, but from silence and solo reflection. I mean, if you think about it for 1 second, if you have cameras on you all the time, makeup artists around, production crew, people everywhere, everyone is pulling left, right, center and wants something for you or from you, what are you going to appreciate? What is going to be really important for you? It's going to be solitude. But do you see how just someone takes you away and you are not the center of attention, you're not in front of cameras, all of a sudden, solitude becomes a problem. Why? It changes the narrative. It changes the story that you tell yourself. And that's where the magic happens. We need to reframe why these things are challenging for us so that we can find back to ourselves. Look at Alicia Keys, who went on a digital detox for clarity, saying, it's not about being disconnected. It's about being reconnected to what matters most, and that's myself. In coaching, I work with a lot of clients. They fear being single, only to discover it was their most transformative season. They built businesses. They healed old wounds and became whole. Not because they were alone, but because they were finally undistracted. They can find clarity and focus. Let me share a couple of advanced strategies with you. From a neuroscience perspective, the default mode network, DMN, of your brain is activated during moments of quiet solitude. And it's where self-reflection, future planning, and emotional integration happens. This means being alone is not just emotional, it's biological clarity. So you can practice that by constructive daydreaming. Schedule 10 minutes of internal wandering. Let your mind drift without screens. Your brain will naturally begin to process emotions, consolidate your identity, and integrate peace. It's a powerful technique. I want to give you a weekly challenge as per always for immediate implementation, and I hope that you are up for it. This week, be alone on purpose. Take 1 hour, just one. I ask you for 1 hour of your time, completely for you. No screens, no noise, no reaching out. And I want you to ask yourself, who am I without the role? What does my peace actually feel like? How do I experience it? What does it feel like in my chest, in my stomach, in my head, on my skin? And then I want you to write it down, anchor it, and then revisit it often. It will help you. That's a powerful thing. And that was it, tribe. Very quick. But my call to action for you, if this episode reminded you of your own wholeness, share it with a friend who's afraid of the silence, with yourself again tomorrow. And then subscribe to the Success Blueprint because it helps me to climb through the algorithm and it will grow the tribe. Because here we come together at face value to be better at this thing called life and business. So copy the link, paste it into WhatsApp, into Facebook Messenger, on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you communicate with your people, and help me to grow the tribe because it is powerful. And if you want to know more about my self-help topics, I have pathways, I have programs online that you can purchase. They are really, really powerful 30-day pathways and exercises. Head over to mindworks.biz and you find all the information there. Or reach out to me on social media, Instagram. You know where you can get hold of me. Even in the podcast description, there's my contact details. Drop me a message, even just to tell me how this resonated with you, how you feel about it. Do you maybe have any suggestions or you think differently about it? Let me know. I'm really interested in it. But let us not forget a special thanks to Doc Marty Mushrooms, supporting inner clarity, focus, and emotional balance with powerful adaptogenic blends. If you want to know more about his products, head over to docmarty.com. You will find everything there. Marty is as passionate about mushrooms as I am about people. And with the code DAN20, DAN20, you get an exclusive to the Success Blueprint discount of 20% on your first purchase. And I can guarantee you, you will not regret it. You then can come back to the Success Blueprint and say thank you to me later. And as per always, tribe, in closing, I just want to leave you with one thought. You are not empty when you're alone. You're not missing anything. You're just meeting yourself again. And that, tribe, is sacred. That was it from my side. That was Daniel Craig Johnson, your host on the Success Blueprint. With my promise, I'll be back. Take care, tribe.